Hey there folks, welcome back to the channel, and for any of those who are new, my name is Novazoids, I'm a digital sculptor, and I really like making monsters and creatures, so stay tuned as I basically make my own bestiary, because I feel that is probably like the end goal of this channel, potentially. So yeah. So what you're seeing today is actually a werewolf doodle I was doing whilst I was watching the Underworld franchise, and whilst watching I was like, damn, those Lego werewolf costumes are incredible. And it's like, okay, cool, let's see how well I'm actually going to make a werewolf by the time like this film ends. So this is sort of like a speed challenge, and as you guys know, I love doing like a speed challenge because I like seeing how much I'm able to do and how well I'm able to test myself. And I'm pretty happy with how the results came out, minus like a few little things, but we'll get to that when I get to that. But now let's actually start off by explaining what I'm actually doing. So what I'm doing here is actually the blockout stage. What I find is like the most fundamental like aspect of most sculpts, because you're building out the foundations. Like, say for example, how this works is you're sort of like giving everything a skeleton. You're giving it like its foundationary roots. So you have to make sure like they're working well enough that you're able to then like translate it to like a full sculpt. Because like if this stage is like messed up, it's normally gonna like come to bite you in the ass like later down the line. So it's really important to actually just understand the proportions and get out the flow. Like that's why I try keeping it as simple as I can before actually doing anything, real sculpting to it. Because like it's really just like the bare bone elements, and then sort of just like using the move tool to sort of like get the more foundationary shape. So like say what I was doing there to get the rib cage, trying to get like the shoulders out there, as well as like forming the legs a bit more. Like all of these steps are like not the most glamorous, but it's the most crucial to actually get like the form and everything right. Because there's something that I'm always going to be adjusting, and it, like I say at this stage as well, it's like very much determining like aspects of your character. Like I say like the hunched over side of it's like a silhouette, it's making it seem a bit more savage. Having like the broader shoulders as well, it's making it seem stronger. The like tinier waist, that's just a bad habit of mine, but like I say in this thing, it's supposed to feel unworldly, it's supposed to feel unnatural for something like that large to be like that tiny as well. So all of these elements that are coming together at like this early stage, like that's actually dictating a lot more of the sculpt itself. And for any of those of you who are curious how you can actually really improve like the blockout stage and understanding how to sort of like manipulate the shapes in an effective manner, I really recommend doing time challenges like this. So for any of you who are actually aware of like sort of my more short form content, I have been talking about like how useful I find like just time-based challenges are, because it does actually make you greatly think about how you're making something, and sort of trying to see how something can be portrayed in a very easy sort of format. Because say I did all of this in roughly like an hour and 13 minutes or so, like not an insane amount of time, but from like that time I was able to actually easily portray like, hey, yeah, no, I'm able to show off this and this in like that much of a time frame, and it's pretty useful in fact. So if you are trying to get into art, like that's one tool I really recommend doing, because from doing that, you're building a better understanding of like the core fundamentals of how something should be looking. And from that, you're able to just like replicate it. And from doing it in a speed-based challenge, you're able to actually sort of more build out the muscle memory of it. And I find that very, very useful. Like I actually also remember a while ago I was like talking about that, and someone said, no, you have to focus on getting good, not fast. But they seem to completely miss the point of like, no, you're not focusing on getting fast. You're focusing on actually building an understanding of the core mechanics of something. And then like it being forced to do it in a time restrained way is making you really strip it down to like how it should be working. And that is something I'm going to stand by for a good, like until the end of time. So if you are starting out in art, definitely do speed-based challenges. They do make you think about what you're doing a hell of a lot more. Like now that I think about it, like a very good example of that is actually like a life drawing figure classes. Because I remember when I had to do one at like a university class, we were having to sort of like spend like say a minute on each pose, and it was really making you think about the gesture of it, the form, just the flow, and how all of those elements come together. It's like stripping it down to such a good level for you to actually really think like, okay, no, art in this sort of media in particular is just like understanding how shapes all merge together. So like that's why this block out area is so important. And I'm reiterating this so much because I've noticed, especially for like say newer artists, they have like this very bad habit of like trying to like, I don't want to say skip the block out stage, but sort of like try to speed run it in not really like the good sort of speed sort of way, but more in the, oh hey, yeah, nah, I'll skip this and then just start like detailing, and like that's where all the sort of like attention will come from, like that's where all the oohs and ahs will be. Where in reality, like, I've been noticing for a lot of my, say, favorite artists, they're actually very minimal for detail themselves. Like, it actually, like, let a lot of things speak for themselves from impressions, and, like, that's a lot of what art is. Just being able to, like, look at something and understand, hey, I don't need to draw every blade of grass. If I just draw some elements of grass or something to really suggest it, like, that will sell it a lot more. Instead of, like, trying to draw same for, like, hair, like, trying to draw every strand is utter madness. So it's just like this balancing act of knowing what's needed and what's not. Also, Lee's hands are a monstrosity, like, are absolute, like, do y'all remember, like, Yowie hand meme from, like, a few years back? It's basically just that. But I did this in, like, an hour and a half, so, and nobody's perfect. No, nobody. Wow, just improved my own point right there. To be fair, it doesn't help, but, like, I have a speech impediment as well as, like, a bit of a cold right now, so that's a good double whammy for, like, voice and throat and just general talking. Not being, like, the greatest, but as you know, I'm, like, not the most professional person. Like, if I could, I probably, would just send this out for someone else to redub over, but I like being authentic with how unprofessional this is. Because, I don't know, I feel like in the era of super over-polished stuff, actually just having someone be, like, an authentic idiot like yours truly, I don't know, I feel it has, like, some form of charm to it. Because, it is what it is. But, yeah. So, as I'm watching this back, it's actually making me realize how much I actually like having the shoulders as broad as they are, because it does convey a lot of power, especially in juxtaposition to, like, how fine the, core and, like, waist is. Like, that is just a design, like, motif I'd, like, go by a lot. But for this, I feel like it does really add into, like, the whole uncanniness of it all. And, like, from this, I'm actually now thinking about, like, just how other werewolves are really depicted in media. Like, I do like werewolves, but they're never actually really given, like, too much, like, shine, let's be real. Like, hence why, like, the Underworld franchise, and I think, just Dog Soldiers is, like, the most prolific two werewolf films. And I guess you could have probably thrown, like, Van Helsing and Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. And even then, like I say, two of those are very sort of, like, forward with hey, yeah, no, this is a really strength-based thing. And, like, that's a really cool thing, because I do, remember reading about how werewolves, as a sort of, like, a narrative device, sort of, like, express how there is a beast and a savagery within all of us. And how, like, if you turn to the beast, what outcomes will there be, and how much accountable should you be held for those things? And I feel that's, like, pretty interesting, because I do, like, subscribe to the Guillermo del Toro method of, like, sort of monsters and creatures, where they're just, like, narrative devices, and how I think they're, like, one of the oldest things actually entwined with humanity, because I think I remember hearing this quote about how man was only able to become man due to the existence of monsters. And I find that really interesting. So, yeah. And now, just also speaking about, like, other werewolf depictions, like, as I was going off on that for a bit. Now that I also think about it, I think there are also, like, two others where they actually, like, treat, like, the curse as more of a virus. And I believe that is in Harry Potter, the Prisoner of Azkaban, Lupin's, like, sort of, like, slow degradation throughout the month till the full moon. And how it's, like, very clear it's taking a toll on him. And I think that's so cool. But then the one what I'm pretty sure happened first, what did the same exact thing, was Ginger Snaps. And, like, say her, like, transformation was extraordinarily gradual, where, like, you were seeing the phases of her, like, actually shift into it, resulting in, like, this weird hairless abomination. Oh, God, it was so gross. Definitely worth a watch if you were into, like, those sort of movies. It kind of has, like, that good old-fashioned, like, 90s, 80s, like, practical effects. And how did I also not mention this for practical effects? The American Werewolf in London. Oh my God, like, that transformation scene was a work of art. Like, I think it actually got me, like, I enjoyed that scene so much, I rewatched it, like, an ungodly amount, and it got me into, like, the idea of, not really makeup, but sort of just creature designing a bit more than what it is. And because for those of you who don't know, I actually did do a special effects model making course at university. And that's actually where I got into digital sculpting. I'll probably do a video where I just do a breakdown of, like, my lore behind all of this. But yeah, from watching like how like physical stuff could be made, it was incredible. Wow, I really am rambling a lot today. But ayo, I'm sick, and I am really bad at posting videos consistently, so enjoy this, please, please. If you don't, I'll probably cry, and if you do, I'll probably cry from joy, so... Yeah. Oh god, it doesn't help, I also work like 2 jobs, so I am exhausted all the time. To be fair, I'm pretty sure like the second I met you, I would have quit one of these, and I would have focused more on actually doing this, and then potentially turning this more into a career. Oh my god, it finally got to that point in the video where I talk about how much I want this to be a career. Oh my god. Wow, someone put that on there, what you call it? Bingo card. Again. And again. But hey, it's true, like I definitely do want to do this, and I think I'm probably going to try and take like this more of a relaxed style to it, because I kind of like just yapping about this and whatever like random things pop into my mind, because I don't want to do like a pure, just like technical, hey yeah, this is how you do that, this is how you do this. Sort of thing, because there's already a bunch of channels on that, and I don't know, I don't want to do that personally. I'd rather just like this be like sort of like a weird mix of like just my art and just a general diary of like, find this neat, because that's a sort of positivity I kind of like, because I don't know, I say a lot of media I consume, especially on like the internet, is like fairly negative, so just being able to talk about stuff I find interesting is probably a bit more of a sort of like good release, because oh my god, I see way too many things that like drive me bored and feral, like weirdly enough fitting for the werewolf thing, like making me go feral over like stuff what pisses me off. But but we'll get there, because I am a stubborn asshole, and it's super fun. Like it really does just attest to like how I really am just an artist at the end of the day. Yeah, trying to make it as a content creator, not a content creator trying to make it as an artist. Because I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times, I still probably be doing this alone in my room. And you know, I do a lot of this alone in my room. Like I make so much random stuff I just do not remember to record or actually just post evenly. So it's a bit of a nightmare. But hey, yeah, I'm gonna get better at it. Like, I'm gonna try and set myself like a weekly doodle challenge, and if I try to take like this sort of like scripting approach, well, I say scripting, I didn't actually really script any of this, is just purely off of vibes in the moment, so yeah. Ew, that's gross. Yeah, I think it's clear I have like that whole ADHD brain. I'm not suited for like too much conformity, it just bothers me. Yeah, but we'll see how this goes. We'll see what people think, and then we'll go from there. But I'm definitely gonna try and like, I like this sort of route of just being, yeah. But wow, really did just like go off on a big old tangent there towards the end. But you know, it's me. Like it's what I do. I think that's why I like also live streaming, just going off so many random tangents. But yeah, here is my werewolf speed sculpt. It was pretty fun to do. I probably will not finish this. I may finish it if I actually, if the feeling in like a few months time or even a year like strikes the urge to like, hey, you remember that one thing? It's kind of cool. Why don't you go finish that, Dante? Yeah, go finish that, Dante. But yeah, anyway, if you like this like rambling, please like and subscribe and stay tuned for more. And thank you to those who supported me on my Patreon, well, my Ko-fi. Support means a lot to me, and I promise I will get more and more content out for you guys. So have a lovely day. Bye.